Hey guys, welcome to the Pretty Much Sisters podcast, hosted by two Welshies connected by love, not blood. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ava, and in today's episode we'll be having a catch-up about our week, digging deep with a game of Two Truths, One Lie, and our thoughts on big life changes.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's get started. It's been an absolute
Belter
of a week.
We're a little late on the pod this week.
We are, yeah.
But we've got some, justifiable reasons as to why that is.
Basically, obviously, life changes.
I went to suck the mic then.
Ew. Basically, late on the pod, we've had lots of issues, mainly to do with scheduling. Unfortunately, we have to work to live and survive, which...
Unless somebody wants to, sponsor us, and then, obviously,
sponsor me for, the rest of my life, financially, that'd be great. But obviously, we've had to work, and we've just, it's been pretty shit, to be honest. And we've had a lot going on, very stressful. I might lose my eye.
Jesus. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have to speak about this, though. Because what I feel like more people need to know.
If you guys have... Right, okay, pre-warning. If you guys have headaches over your one eye consistently for a year, please get it checked out. Please get it checked out. Because now I have to have an MRI scan. Which I'm terrified of. So,
can I just say that Ava was told that she was having cluster headaches, and she used to look at me in work sometimes, just literally turn her head sometimes, and all of a sudden, if she would be fine, wouldn't it? You'd be fine, and all of a sudden, it'd be like, woof, in her one eye, which eye? Left. Left, yeah, her left eye. It would just be like a flare up, but it would sort of look as if it was popping out of her head. And then she'd be streaming. Yeah, you'd be streaming.
My
tears,
eyes would be streaming.
But then also you'd have
my lip would swell up.
So I thought
that
it was a allergic reaction.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I was saying this allergic reaction. When you have the patch tests and stuff like that. But she was told that it was cluster headaches.
Well, I wasn't told it was cluster. I was told it was cluster headaches, but because I was too young, they didn't really feel like they should test me. Because I was too young, and it's quite uncommon, so it was probably just headaches
and hormonal. They were saying as well.
It was probably. It's just part of growing up. That's what one of them told me. You just body's changing. It's a young age.
Hormones can affect you. I have a lot of headaches before my period, but I think and I'm more conscious of sort of the symptoms now, but definitely not that.
Yeah. So
it was debilitating, wasn't it?
Oh my god, I was in agony.
And to be honest, if I thought that she was shamming, guys, or if she was putting it on, I would say.
I wasn't.
I've had a few sort of revelations this week.
Yeah.
My dog's not been very well. Poor Luna.
Sorry, the comparison. My eye might fall out. And Anna's talking about her dog.
She's having sickness from the heat, I think, or something. I'm not really sure. But yeah, and apologies, I've got my feet out on camera, but it just has to be done today.
No, it doesn't. I will put an emoji over it.
I just turned up from the gym, guys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bring the vibe.
We also don't want to be like Debbie Downers, and you watch us and you think, oh my god, I can't. Jesus Christ, they're sucking the life out of me. I don't want that to be happening.
So you would have had that if we'd sort of jumped on maybe Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday.
When Ava scheduled it and Hannah cancelled 6 times.
Yeah, it was twice. But
you cancelled 6 times this week.
No, I was 6 times.
We were supposed to do it Monday evening, then you said Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday.
It's been
she cancelled twice on the same day on Friday. It's been a day. Yeah,
it's been a really tough week, guys. I'm transitioning into new things and I'm finding it very, very hard. Keeping it real.
But anyway, what have you done this week? Anything I should know? Anything interesting? Obviously, my interesting fact this week was the fact that my eye might pop out because the optic nerves are swollen. That's pretty much my week, to be honest.
But that's really good Thai food, which sort of made my week. And I was thinking, I'm really enjoying this from when I went to a meeting in Cardiff on Wednesday. That was really good.
You had Thai food in the meeting?
No, afterwards.
Oh. What did you have?
I had
curry?
Chicken pad Thai.
Oh,
it was really good. It's
I've never
sweet.
really had pad Thai before.
It was really nice. It was really sweet. It's the first time I'd had pad Thai, but it was really, really nice. It was sweet. Usually I'm like a Thai green curry gal.
I said I'm not a good. I'm not a green curry type gal or red curry.
When I made that soup,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Do you want some?"
Yeah.
And it was like chicken,
Yeah.
but basically a soup around the chicken.
Yeah.
And I brought it in. I was on like a chicken.
Yeah, but the thing
I
is
was on a
though,
bit of a
guys,
cooking
she made her
thing
own
then.
portion and she didn't make me a portion, so I just had a spoonful.
Yeah.
Whereas I made us fajitas.
Yeah.
Like equal amount for both.
I'll get off. I made loads of that, but there just wasn't enough chicken.
Right, okay.
When I was on my cooking hype, when I was going to be a chef.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah. But no, nothing
Nothing.
in particular that stands out to me that I'm like, yeah, I really need to tell you that I did that this week. Oh, obviously I went on my I'm on my running hype, aren't I? So
Yeah.
I'd like to just let you know that I've been on 2 runs since the last time we spoke.
3 weeks ago. Right, okay.
I have run in the gym on the treadmill, but I've been on 2 outdoor runs because I feel sorry for my dog that, like, when I'm running outside at the minute, it's such nice weather and I'm like, oh, I should just be like walking the dog, you know?
Yeah, but also Looney doesn't want to be out in the heat.
No, true.
Bless her, like she can't be doing that.
But yeah, I found so obviously I've been quite busy, so yeah, but I've been on 2 runs. My trainers actually feel okay, considering they're not the right size at the moment. And I have been advised that I'm supposed to size up. If everybody who was listening that day, I am supposed to size up in a running trainer.
Oh no.
So at the moment I haven't run far enough for my feet to swell.
Okay.
But I would say, you know,
Do your feet swell?
If you run far, yeah, they do, and that's why you've got to size up, because you've got to give them room to expand, your foot to expand. So basically, you'll be running around like the Elephant Man.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
But no, where did we go? We went to visit my mother in her charity shop. Well, we walked in. It was very busy.
It was busy, so we stayed there for a little bit. The waste of the day wasn't seeing Angia. That made the day, to be honest. But the rest of the day was just. We tried to like plan the episode, but the thing is, there wasn't much to plan, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'd already just
quite fast.
Yeah, and we'd already discussed, and then we were both sort of in a mood.
It was just low level.
It was like grumpy and stroppy. Like, it was just not.
Yeah.
It was just not the vibe. So honestly, it was a week, and then we just went.
I even needed a day off, basically.
I'd been working all week, and I thought, oh, let's do that on my day off. I'm working the next day as well, and then obviously I looked after Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't actually come home then until like 11:30 in the night, and I just and we went out at like, what was it, 11:30?
Yeah.
So it was a 12-hour day of just out of my comfort zone, and I just thought, yeah, that's enough now.
But we talked about the Met Gala in the back of my mother's charity shop. If you want to go over to TikTok, that is on there now.
And she just sort of insults her favourite celeb, which is just funny.
It's very, it is funny. We're like, we can't leave her because she used to always help us out in the coffee shop, and we were like, we can't leave her, we've got to just stay here. We did absolutely nothing. I just talked about the Met Gala in the back.
Yeah, we talked about Met Gala, and I organised the sizes that the little cubes you put on a hanger. I did like 3 of them. I organised. Yeah, so that was my input. So thanks, Anne, for all of the food you used to cook us and the help. We just played with some cubes
every summer.
I know.
Did you? Yeah. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, because you say, oh, well, when I worked in Tea Haven. So yeah, I do know. I would assume you worked there.
Yeah, I used to volunteer there. I didn't actually work there for a while as well, but I volunteered there. You know, when we sat at the back, I was thinking, yeah, I used to steam those clothes. Steam clothes.
Oh, how exciting. You know? Well, that was an absolutely shockingly weird segment of the podcast. So moving on, why don't we go into 2 truths and 1 lie?
Yeah.
A little game. I thought, we claim to know each other so well.
You thought? I think didn't I say to do it?
Okay.
I texted you and said you do it.
Yeah, that's a lie. Okay, I shouldn't take credit for that. It was Hannah's idea. But, you know, we claim to know each other really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like maybe that's utter rubbish.
Yeah, but I can't lie because I'll laugh.
Yeah, but that's my problem. Like, you need to not do that because I know instantly when you lie. Hannah has this, like, weird thing where she lies and she just laughs when she's saying it. And it's like, well, now I know you're lying. Yeah. It's like when she used to, like, try and, like, wind me up. And, like, sometimes they would be successful if I wasn't really paying attention. But other
if
times...
it was anything to do with, like, work and I would just be serious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I just used... Yeah, but the thing is, though, you say, like... like, it didn't really happen, but then most of the scenarios you would do, you just would claim not to do.
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to work tomorrow, Eve, then? And it'd be like my day off.
Yeah, I know. I'd just
yeah.
message her and be like, "Oh, Eve, I need you. Do you mind just working?" She'd be like, "I know that you say yes." Oh, Ava.
This is bullying me.
Yeah, and it would just be a joke. But
So
I was gonna message her earlier and be like, "Oh, Eve, I can't make it."
No, because I messaged Hannah yesterday. I was sitting outside my garden. My next door neighbours heard me. I said, if you dare cancel tomorrow, I'm going to come to your house and boot you so far you'd end up in London.
And she would steal all my electricals. Which is very
Hang on.
random.
I also said I'll steal your dog and all your electrical items.
Yeah, but I can get the dog. But I just felt like it was like, and I'll steal Luna, and then it was like, and all your electrical items.
Because
Right.
I would have. Do you know what I mean? You know I'm not beyond that.
See you marching up the street. With
I
Luna
take
in
that
one
massive
arm, my
TV.
straighteners under the other.
I take the massive
right.
TV, I take your laptop, I take the camera, and I would definitely take your straighteners. I reckon I could sell them for like parts. So I think you should go first.
Mine on my phone, so I'm just gonna. This is the only notes I've made, guys, this week. So, right, these are mine. So I was Mary in a school play in nursery. My middle name is actually after Queen Victoria. I went vegan for 7 months.
I don't know. I know you did play Mary. I know you did. What was the second one? We're not named after Queen Victoria.
My middle name is actually after Queen Victoria. I went vegan for 7 months.
Your family royalist? I thought your mum wasn't a royalist, but the other side is.
Other way around, love.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
my mother loved the royal family.
I thought Nanny Jane was a royalist.
Well, my mother's into the royal family. Do you know what I mean? She loved
I knew she was into Diana.
Yeah, but
I didn't know it was like the whole of them. I'm into Diana, not into the rest.
No, my mother does like the royal family. She loves the royal, she loves royal wedding. She's watched them all. Okay, that type of thing.
Okay, I think the lie is that, well, you're really into protein. So I think the lie is that you went vegetarian or vegan. What one is it? Vicky?
The lie is Vicky, yeah.
Oh,
and when I researched it, she's actually a Gemini, though. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, so I did go vegan for 7 months.
Why?
When I was 22.
You had a little bit of a 20s crisis.
I went, so I came out of uni, and I realised that, like, long story short, I was eating a lot of protein and a lot of meat. And I sort of came out of uni, and it was when, like, veganism was sort of becoming, like, a trend, I suppose. And it was, like, considered healthy. And I was really, really, really bad guys at jumping on trends to sort of, like, try and, like, rejuvenate or lose weight or, up until I was sort of, like, 24, 25. So, yeah, I went vegan for 7 months while I was a teaching assistant. And then before I did my
what did you eat? Because vegan cheese wasn't around there, was there?
No, I didn't eat cheese. Eat cheese, but I didn't really eat cheese much for when I was younger. Love cheese now, but I was always scared of cheese, and we'll get onto these topics. But that was one of my food phobias for putting on weight and stuff. Cheese, so I wouldn't allow myself to have it. But so that was quite easy for me. That,
corn?
But it was
I can't stand it. I tried to go vegetarian for 3 days. I lasted 2 out of those 3 days.
Really?
Yeah, and then I just had a steak.
Yeah, I ate corn, just loads of veggies. Yeah,
rice.
But I remember the one day being in the staff room, and I remember eating it and just thinking, I can't do this anymore. Like, I love
love chicken.
I love chicken. I love red meat. I don't know, I don't know how bad it is for the environment. I don't know. I get loads of my meat from the butcher, guys. So, you know what I mean? But, love that butcher.
Butcher's meat. That's filth.
Don't. As we start friend from school. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, had to get back on the meat hype, and I did feel like I was supplementing a lot as well.
Did you feel like
my hair was falling out? Yeah, no, it was bad. Like,
you didn't get any protein.
I didn't lose any. Like, I didn't lose any weight. Not that I was doing it for that, but it was just I don't know, I just didn't feel healthy.
No.
I didn't. Like, I really, really didn't feel healthy. So, in the end, I just thought, nah, this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
I've been veggie, like, I have gone veggie, and then I've done, like, pescatarian. Like, I've gone, like, you know, quite a while where I've just ate fish. But, to be honest, just a whole balanced diet is just the one for me, you know?
Right.
So, yeah. That is the truth.
Okay. I can't believe that. I don't know why I got that wrong. I mean,
I thought I would have told you that. I thought I would have told you that I'd been a vegan.
no, you never. Because I said to you loads of times I just could never be. And you just never.
I thought you would have... But good for remembering I was Mary. My little
Yeah.
claim to fame when I was 4 years old.
Yeah, because she was really proud of that. Really proud. Okay. Here's my 2 truths, 1 lie. So I accidentally kicked a boy's knee so hard he came in on crutches 2 days later. I had a panic attack and a meltdown over my mum crushing noodles instead of letting them separate. Like, you know, when you put them in like the saucepan and you just put them in as the square, and then you don't break them up.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got so drunk, I knocked myself out at Penalty Park and had a massive bump on my head. Like, egg. Because you know, with the tree, did you ever go up the other way?
Right. I'm just thinking about this now.
Yeah.
Because the first one, that is definitely something you would do.
That's so rude.
You would definitely knock somebody. You would probably kick someone in the shin. Ava's she's not an aggressive person, but she's just very passionate. So I don't know, that's a maybe. I think the second one is definitely true. You probably did have a meltdown with your mother over noodles because you're like funny about stuff. I could imagine you being like a child who would be funny about something like that. And the third one, you did used to get really drunk when you were young.
Penalty Park was my spot.
Was it?
Yeah.
She got drunk outside a dentist.
That's not a story to be shared.
So I know that you used to get drunk, right? So I'm going to say that's the truth.
Okay.
The drunk one.
Okay. Which is a lie.
I feel like if you did the first one, that could be a form of GBH. Do you know what I mean? And would you be sitting here right now, would be in a child's
juvenile
detention centre? So I'm going to say the lie is the first one.
You're wrong. I shattered his kneecap. I didn't mean, it wasn't my intention.
Oh, okay.
So I said I accidentally kicked the boy's
right,
knee.
sorry.
So the lie is I got so drunk I knocked myself out.
No.
So I've never knocked myself out drinking. Or ever. I've never knocked myself out. I fainted, but I've never knocked myself out. Penalty Park is my spot. It was my spot.
Yeah, that caught me out, that.
But I didn't knock myself out. So the story, basically, this boy was an absolute knobhead. He pushed me and I'd shoved him back. And then we were arguing or something like that. And it was like, we were like sort of laughing, sort of joking. And then he, you know when they kick the back of your knee? And like your leg goes.
Like chicken leg.
Yeah, chicken leg. I kicked him in the shin. In the knee, in the actual knee. And then, yeah, he did come in 2 days later. And he said,
she's aggressive.
But like, I didn't mean to. I said I was sorry.
So
but you shouldn't have been winding me up. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's how I feel about it, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Well, because you've always said to me that, like, you know, because, like, I do feel that when Ava's, like, and I've said this before, that when she is, like, passionate about someone, or she loves somebody, or, you know, she feels strongly about something, and, like, and she has, like, threatened to sort of, like, knock people out. If, like, they, you know, she's like, oh, I'll knock them out. I'll knock them out for you, Han. You know? And I'm like, right, okay, don't go doing that. But, like, I don't know, I just didn't expect you to actually have shattered someone's kneecap.
Yeah, but he said that I did, but I don't really believe him because, like, he didn't have any surgery or anything. I did have a meltdown and a panic attack over the fact that my mum crushed up my noodles when I was 9.
So they were really, like...
So my thing is, I hate people messing with the shape, the size, the colour, the texture of my food. Do you know what I mean? Like, you cannot crush up my noodles. I want them to dissolve and for them to be string noodles. You can't crush them up. Same thing with spaghetti. Do you know what I mean? No.
Yeah. You like to be able to roll it on the fork.
Yeah. So she crushed it up and I'd had a really bad day at school. I was getting bullied at the time. So I'd crying. And now whenever I like get passionate or strongly say stuff about things, my dad says we're gonna forget about Noodlegate.
Wow.
Okay,
Let's move on from that.
moving on.
The last one. Oh no, you said about that, about the fact that you haven't knocked yourself out.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Knocked myself out.
That's surprising.
Why?
Because you said you used to get blind drunk.
I'm not blind drunk. I used to get drunk, yeah, but
How long do you think that like span went on for?
of drinking,
Yeah.
not long. Like, she's asking questions like this is an interview in AA.
I know. I feel like it.
But no, I didn't.
I'm gonna take her out for a
I didn't drink a lot.
birthday.
I think it was a span where we used to go out every like weekend.
Yeah, like we all had that when we were in school, but maybe not. Like I don't think I did it when I was 13. So I was quite surprised when you told me that.
Yeah, well.
And I definitely did when I was 15. My mother did actually used to buy it for me. I think everyone goes through that little bit of a phase,
Yeah,
don't they?
but I still drink. Like, obviously, I haven't drunk in months. Months. I think the last time I drank was Groovement.
Really? Wow, that was like nearly a year ago.
Yeah, I'm really drunk since.
Although you were knocking him back at the staff party.
I don't think I did.
And when we went down the caravan, you had a few glasses with my mother.
I had two.
Yeah, but you chug them back.
Yeah.
It's like, woof, gone.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it doesn't affect me as quickly. And, like, the staff party, I wasn't even drunk.
No.
To
be honest.
Han thinks I, like, chug. Han thinks...
Look at that. Already gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I have, like,
hang on.
today, I know.
But to be fair, this was done an hour ago.
I don't think you're an alcoholic. I just think that you drank a lot at a young age. Maybe to mask a lot of feelings.
Right, this isn't, like, Pete man-made now. Like, we're not therapy. You know what I mean? Whoa. I think I'm, like, on the couch with Paul Brunson, like.
Getting deep.
Is that his name?
People, yeah. Oh my God. Love
what a man.
Paul.
What a man. On to other people's podcasts, not to promote anyone else, but sort of, because...
It doesn't matter if they're, like, already famous, you know?
True. I love Pete Wick's Man-Made podcast. I know I'm not really the target demographic for the podcast.
I haven't watched it. Is it to do it with men?
Yeah, it's called Man-Made, babe.
Yeah. Yeah, but what's
it's all about
like men's mental health.
Toxic masculinity, what it's like to be a man, you know, really gritty stuff. And I just love it. And like
nice.
I think I love it because I've never understood men. Their mentality, their whole menness, you know? I've never really understood it. But I'm watching it and I'm like, I can understand why you like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So he had Tom Grennan on it, and then he had Billy Billingham from Celebrity SES.
Oh.
Staff.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
Nice.
Absolutely loved it. And I just think it's such a nice side of Pete because I feel like for so long Pete was the toxic man, you know, in the press. And I don't think he is.
Do you remember when he came up? I think I asked you this before when he came, because I couldn't believe that you watched Towie.
Big Towie fan. Towie fan.
I don't watch it anymore, obviously, but but yeah, I was a massive Towie fan. But I remember Pete Wicks coming out of the water
in his swimming trunks, the water dripping off his head,
and it was like,
he had a man bun.
The pirate,
Pete the pirate.
Okay, nice. I need to listen to it because I find that Pete. Yeah, I don't think I think I would. When you said about it the other day, actually, I was like, I need to put that on. But I find that Pete is quite quiet. Like he comes across as quiet, doesn't he? On maybe not so much on like
Staying Relevant,
but when he does like videos with Sam, or he comes across as like sort of that
reserved
man, like that doesn't really say a lot.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear that, like and listen to him question people. And
he made Tom Grennan cry.
Wow.
Not that he made him, but they were talking about subjects and you know, it's quite heavy stuff. But I've listened to some of Pete's audiobook, and I think I need to read it. Really, what's his name? Paul Brunson.
Yeah.
His podcast is a podcast.
Yeah.
Like.
But everything that he does.
Yeah,
loves it in this new cheat on Netflix.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's really good. It's very much it. So shout out to Pete.
Shout out to Pete Wicks.
Watched pretty much.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what I'm really?
Watched.
No, do you know what's pissed me off?
Leave your outward watch.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, but you know what's really annoyed me? Did you watch the latest episode? Somebody wrote in and said we're starting a podcast. Any advice? I was the first person to ever ask him. So now they're going on there as guest, and he said, "Oh, we won't do it again." But because you're the first person to ask, why didn't we write in?
Who, to Pete?
Yes, on the second episode, on the second episode of the week.
So they went there?
No, they wrote in.
Yeah.
So Pete's agreed, like promised, that they would go on the podcast and be their first guests. What? Why didn't we do it?
Why haven't we done that?
And he said now he's never going to do it again. It was just like a thing.
We're just missing these core opportunities because we're so busy.
Yeah. Those are my top 2 podcasts at the moment, to be honest.
Are they?
Man-Made, 3. Staying Relevant, Man-Made. Paul Burnson.
My brother, obviously I'm always listening to Mel Robbins.
Of course.
Jay Shetty has always been my top one. But I also, I was thinking about what you just said about men, and that's what Jay Shetty said. I think I've said this to you before, and I was like, it really stuck with me. Or I might have said it to Reese actually, but I remember listening to Jay Shetty, and he said, if men were more like women, and this is nothing like, I'm not being
You said it last episode.
Did I actually?
Yeah.
Oh, if men are more like women, that the world would
be a better place. Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't remember saying that.
That's
a lot of competition.
Everyone's starting a podcast recently.
But it's the place to be.
It is.
So we're in the right place, right time.
But yeah, no, there's a few. Obviously, Liv Atwoods as well.
Love hers.
Yeah.
We are little fish in a big pond right now.
I say we're more like bioluminescence in an ocean right now.
So we wanted to talk a little bit quickly just about transitioning into sort of new roles. You've usually sort of talked and been quite expressive to me about how you feel. So I think it's good to that we talk about it on here.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think people can relate to it. Because obviously it's like a massive thing in there when you take on something new. You know, it can cause you a lot of, not you in particular, but you, a lot of upheaval. You know, sometimes there's some grief for like a past experience. I love the raised eyebrow. Yeah, so I think you should talk a little bit about how you're feeling in a minute, because I've had Ava having a few meltdowns on the phone to me about sort of like,
I cried in your car last week.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
So she had a little bit of a meltdown on the phone to me a couple of weeks ago, just saying like, I feel like an outsider, and then she cried again to me last week. So I think this is quite important that we talk about this today.
So I just have really bad like imposter syndrome, and I have had it since I was really, really young, where I just feel never included enough.
Like on the outside.
On the outside, yeah. Like I do feel like a border control, you know, when really I want to be the one being controlled by the border. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Love that. I love that reference.
But like
comparison. Sorry.
But no, I just have really bad imposter syndrome, and I just feel, I feel very strongly about things, and I do sometimes take things as personal attacks, and I feel like this episode just makes me seem like an utter annoying, like whiny little brat. But yeah, I do have really bad like anxiety, and I always stress that I've done something wrong, and like I think that really correlates with, you know, big life changes, when I always feel as though I could have done better in a situation. And I do have like, I think I live my life with regret, and really I shouldn't, but I do regret loads of things, and I regret the way I handle it, the way I talk, the way they say things. Like, I'm the type of person who will have a conversation that seems fine at the time, and then I sleep on it, and then next week I will feel like, oh my god, why did I say that? Why did I say that? And it'll go on in my head,
think about it,
on a loop, and a loop, and a loop, and a loop, until like I actually make myself feel sick about it. And it could be like, and then I might have the courage to like say about it, and I'll say that was really weird. I don't know why I said that. And then they'll be like, never even thought of that ever again. Like, why are you thinking about it?
Yeah.
But yeah, like life changes. I don't do well with change. I'm not the type of person who can handle it. I'm not the type of person to just up and do something crazy and just not think about it ever again.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do struggle with change.
Yeah. I just find it very hard. Like, even like small things, like literally really tiny, like minor things, I struggle with like change. But even if they're like, they've changed an ingredient in like a food I like, I can't deal with that. And like, that sounds a little bit autistic.
Yeah.
So maybe I should get that checked out. But I just don't like change. Like, even like the material on pajamas, I don't like that change. And then obviously changing jobs, that's a massive thing for me. I hate it. Changing classes in school, I hated
Do you think
it.
it's because you worry about like making friends with new people?
Yeah, I think I work really hard to achieve companionship with people, of like whether it's a relationship or like friendship.
Do you think you end up people pleasing because of that?
I don't know whether it's people pleasing, because I've never been one to please people ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounds dirty. Not like that. But like, I've never been one to like, I will say how I feel, but I find sometimes I have to get to a point to be like that. I think most of the time I do try and appease people, just because I don't like negative reaction aimed at myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you like to be liked?
Yeah, but not in like a mass way. I would like if one person thought of me as their friend,
Yeah.
you know?
And I think you like to feel part of something, don't you?
Yeah. I like to feel included and to have something, because I just feel like, I think it's like an only child thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, living as an only child. Like, I do have a half brother, but living as an only child, because he's a lot older than me, I just feel quite like isolated, and I can't handle that now that I've grown up and I have had friendships and things that are important. I just can't handle not having that anymore, so I have breakdowns about it and I cry myself to sleep every night.
Wow.
No, but I do have major like panic attacks, and I also have like a fear of like, with life changes, not achieving the best I could be in that change, and then just being like, why did I even do that? Or why did I do this? Why did I do that?
Can I tell everyone sort of like what you added your breakdown over the other day? Like, can I talk about it a little bit?
What did I have a breakdown about?
Well,
I
because
forgot.
you said that I'm not where I should be in life.
Oh yeah, you can talk about that.
I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Bearing in mind, Ava is not even 18 yet. I thought you were feeling my nails then.
No.
That's
creepy.
She's not even 18 yet, mind. 18 next month. And she was having a breakdown in my car, saying, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm not going to be able to achieve anything. And I sort of had to talk her around and just say that she just needs to slow down, because ever since even I've met Ava, I think like she's grown as a person, and she's very talented. She's 17 and has chosen to drop out of college and obviously and to work. And I think, I see that as very brave, I would say. It's not following the norm. I don't actually know what the norm is for you guys and your age.
It's to go to uni.
But I think, I was
It is to
about
go
say,
to
like,
uni.
going to uni is still a thing. And I think like, just I sort of always try and like give Ave like my perspective from sort of what I've been through, and I think that I don't mean this against my family or anything like that, but I feel as if I was sort of pushed, and that was my only thing I ever knew, was to go to university. And I think now, knowing like the world of work and sort of the opportunities that are out there anyway without having gone to uni, it's not the be all and end all. And Ava's gaining life experience before people who were, in uni, no offense, but like I didn't feel like I gained life experience. I may have gained experience in sort of living on my own, living independently and learning how to wash my clothes, even though my mother used to do it anyway for me. So do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really think that it gave me a lot of life experience, because when I was spat out of university, I was like, what am I supposed to do now? So I was just trying to sort of talk over it, like, and just tell her that obviously, like, it's okay to sort of feel like that. Because she felt like as if she didn't know what she was doing, because, she's in another barista role now, but she's an amazing barista, and she's going to be good at whatever you do. You are going to be really good at whatever you do. You are, because you've got that maturity. And you've already seemed as if you've got like loads of life experience. Maybe that is down to like being an only child with you got older parents as well, and you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that there are definitely like positives to that, but yeah, I think it's good to share. What would be your sort of, advice to anyone, I do feel like I'm interviewing you a bit today.
Yeah,
But what would be?
Jesus.
But I think like it's good because it sort of like I think it's good people can relate to this. So what would be your advice to somebody your age starting somewhere new and feeling like as if they are on the outside? Like what would be your advice to somebody?
Don't isolate yourself even further. I feel like people who are like me and they panic and they overthink things and they just sort of victimize themselves, I guess. Don't isolate yourself further. If somebody is trying to talk to you but you feel like the conversation is awkward, carry on the conversation. It doesn't matter if it's awkward because you're still showing another person that you're actually interested in what they have to say and what they want to say. But you never know, like, just experience it. Like, if it's an awkward conversation, it's an awkward conversation. You're going to have millions of conversations with people. Like, it doesn't matter if it's one conversation is awkward out of your week. So what? You have hundreds of others that week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It could be with anything.
But not putting too much pressure on yourself.
Nah, definitely. And it's like, it's gonna develop over time. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to instantly be friends with somebody, or you don't have to instantly like what you do or what you're doing or who you're talking to. Those things, I've had plenty of friends where I didn't like them in the beginning, and then I thought, oh, do you know what, you're all right.
And to be honest, like, your work friends, some people, they do become their best friends.
Yeah.
But, some people it doesn't, and they are work friends.
Yeah.
And that's as long as you're at a level in there, it doesn't mean that you have to sort of like be...
Just make your life easier.
Yeah. For myself, I'm not really going to talk about my situation, like, maybe in, like, pods to come. But I am sort of going through a bit of a journey myself on sort of like reinventing myself a little again. Because I feel as if I have had to do that going through life, because obviously I was a teacher, and then I sort of it was just I left that profession, and then I sort of felt like as if I was reinventing myself, and I feel like I'm at that stage a little bit again. But this time I'm just trying to take all the experiences that I've had and just put like more like positivity into it. But I do feel, and I don't know whether anybody else feels the same, that when I go through this, I get really bad burnout. So because I literally feel, so again, I feel that I value myself on what I do in life. And yeah, it's something that I'm working on, but I think that, I don't mean to sort of like pinpoint my family, but I think that we very much have been like, what do you do? Like, hi, my name's Hannah and I am a, you know, and that's been like a massive part of my identity. And I think that what we do has been like a massive focus. And I think like sort of as we've gone through life, it's sort of, I think my family has sort of learned like to say that it doesn't matter what you do, but that's more of like a new thing rather than it being something
it's like holding a title.
Yeah. And I think like, so yeah, definitely. And I think that I think that's why I'm so like highly driven, because I feel as if I have to do something. I have to be like working to show my worth. It's yeah. And I was talking about this to somebody the other day, and I said that I do value myself on what I do. So I'm working on that, but I'm currently reinventing myself. I am a little bit burnt out at the moment. So I'm just trying to sort of like dip my toe into things, what I've learned along my journey and sort of having my own business, and what I've learned along the way and what I enjoyed. I'm going to try and like dip my toe back into those things, and just try and see if I can expand on those things, hopefully with Ava by my side. So yeah, there might be some like new and exciting things on the horizon. Nothing set in stone, but yeah, it's very, very difficult. And I did read something the other day that it doesn't matter how many times you invent yourself in life, because you only have one life, and it doesn't matter if you reinvent yourself at 18. It doesn't matter if you reinvent yourself at 20, 28, 38, 48. Literally, you have one life. It's up to you. You do whatever the hell you want with it. And you can just keep building those experiences and just keep reinventing yourself. It does not matter. It does not change who you are as a person at all. And it doesn't change, and it should not change how you value yourself. So that's my little bit of advice. And that's sort of where I am. But I need to take my own advice. That's my issue. Because I am very, very hard.
That's Hannah's thing. She works herself.
The advice, I don't take it.
Yeah, she doesn't take her advice. She'll tell me things, and I'm like, okay. And then sometimes I'll reiterate the same advice that she's given me back to her, like, yeah, I should do that. And I'm like, well, you've already told me to do that. Why aren't you doing it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and you do work really hard and you do burn yourself out. Like, there's been a few times where I've thought, Jesus Christ, you're gonna end up in hospital soon.
I do feel driven, but I just feel I love it. I love the hustle, you know. I want my own thing, guys. You know, like that's what I want. That's what I want.
You want ownership.
Yeah, I love it. I love having ownership over my own thing, and like, yeah, and I just want to grow something. I want to grow a community. You know, hopefully we're going to be able to grow a community of people here. You know, and yeah, and but I feel like sometimes I am hard on myself, and I do give out a lot of advice, and I don't take it. So I'm just trying to sort of like take my own advice at the moment, and and if there's anybody, so yeah, I just need to take my own advice and run with it, really.
Yes, you do.
So my manifestation for this week for you guys is, I always go to say girls, but obviously there's going to be men who might watch this as well, so yeah, please don't take offense to that if I say girls, but yeah, mine is going to be, feel it to heal it, and know that doesn't make you weak. So it's okay to feel your emotions, to show your emotions. It does not make you a weak person. Express them.
I love that. My manifestation is a little bit more simple than that, but my manifestation is, you know, to go into the next week within yourself and to feel how you feel and to understand yourself, but to also give yourself grace. Give yourself grace and give. Okay, please don't.
I love that, Eva. Love that from you.
I'm good like that, aren't I?
But have a great week, guys. We are going to be working on the podcast. We're going to, to bring you episodes bi-weekly. They will be going out on a Friday.
They will. From now on.
Sorry to everyone who obviously asked us where it was yesterday, but yeah. We hope you enjoyed episode 3. Yes, have a good week.
We're very grateful for listening, guys. And yeah, we do hope you have a lovely week. And we will see you
in 2 weeks'
time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.